please come back on YouTube. We'll just take about a few minutes. I think we are live. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, we are live on YouTube. Please come back. We could answer only one question. There's still a lot more questions to be answered. So please come back on YouTube. I'm going to close this, and I'll be posting a story on Insta right now to share the link of the live. So we are going to be live on YouTube. Continue answering your questions. Bye bye.
So I think we should probably give a quick summary of the first question.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh, did you send me the link?
No.
Please do.
So let's just give a quick summary of the first question for those who might have missed it out in the middle of the explanation. And we can carry on to the second question from there.
Are people joining?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm updating on Instagram and sharing the link of the live there. You were summarizing the first question.
I don't have the first question with me.
The answer.
Maybe just give it to me. You can just send it via signal to me.
So you want to read out the question?
I don't want to.
It was about feeling helpless about not being able to help.
No, I just want to give a quick summary as the people join, because we're probably going to.
So I'll start. So since okay guys, so we had the previous live ended abruptly.
You focus on that and just send me this question.
Okay.
And focus on the story.
I did it already.
Also, then just send me the question.
Okay, guys, we'll just give a few minutes for people to join, and we'll quickly summarize the first question because the live.
Okay, let's do a speed round to catch up where we left off. So to start with, Kamna's injured. She has a broken leg. Happy Diwali. We are not bursting firecrackers this year. Kamna always loved firecrackers, but she doesn't anymore ever since we got involved with dogs and we started realizing the kind of harm it causes them, apart from the whole environmental factor. That aside. What else did we do?
We then answered the question.
and then we obviously jumped into the Q&As aspect of this. Also, so
1,000.
we are actually doing this live to celebrate reaching the 1,000 subscriber milestone. We did reach it a while back, but we were trying to focus, or rather we were trying to think of a way we could do this with all of you together. And now we are close to the 2,000 subscriber mark as well, but we still wanted to celebrate with all of you, and that's why we're here. So now back to the Q&A. So the first question, and this we had answered in the previous live, but we're going to do it again for the benefit of those of you who are joining in right now, who can't really, look at that live. So the question is from a young woman. She says, "Sir, क्वेश्चन ये था कि एक्चुअली हम स्टूडेंट हैं। अभी तो जब भी किसी एनिमल को देखते हैं तो बहुत हेल्पलेस फील होता है और काफ़ी परेशान रहते हैं, तो हमें समझ ही नहीं आता है कि क्या करें। सो दैट्स इट, दैट्स द क्वेश्चन।
उसके नीचे भी
सॉरी। एंड हम इसमें एक चीज़ ये भी थी कि, सो आई एम रियली सॉरी, माय हिंदी इज क्वाइट बैड,
दिस इज व्हाई आई वांटेड टू रीड इट।
सो यू कैन रीड इट आउट लाउड देन।
और हम इसमें एक चीज ये भी थी कि हेल्प का मतलब कोई इंजर्ड एनिमल रहता है तो हम जितनी हो सके कर देते हैं और एनजीओ वगैरह से हेल्प ले लेते हैं, पर जो नॉर्मली डॉग्स भूखे रहते हैं और बारिश में रहते हैं, उन सब चीजों पे हमें हेल्पलेस फील होता है।
Okay, great question, and we can completely understand. हम पूरी तरह से समझ सकते हैं कि आप पे मतलब आपका क्या इमोशंस है इस मैटर को लेके, बिकॉज जब भी हम जाते हैं, मतलब कहीं भी जाते हैं, मतलब घर से बाहर भी जाते हैं, घर से दूर भी जाते हैं, तो हर जगह हमें ऐसा केस देखने को मिल जाता है, लाइक malnourished dog और malnourished cow or any other animal for that matter, and वो feeling हमेशा रहेगा, and not just with this, with any aspect, right? But हमारा ये फोकस हमेशा रहना चाहिए to look at quality over quantity, right? So जैसे हम 10 कुत्तों को खिलाते हैं बाहर, एंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स पीपल हैव कम टू अस, लोग आते हैं हमारे पास और वो पूछते हैं कि आप ज़्यादा को क्यों नहीं खिलाते हो, आप बस इसी इलाके में खिलाते हो, इन्हीं 10 को खिलाते हो, वहाँ पे भी है, वहाँ पे भी है, वो भी भूखे रहते हैं, आप वहाँ पे भी चले जाइए। बट द पॉइंट इज दैट हम जब 10 को भी खिलाते हैं, हमें इट टेक्स अस बिटवीन 60 to 90 minutes, ठीक है? लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल फॉर मी, व्हेन बिकॉज कामना हैज बीन इंजर्ड, मतलब पिछले 2-3 हफ्ते से मैं अकेले कर रहा हूँ, एंड मुझे तो 2 से 2.5 घंटे लग रहे हैं क्योंकि मैं अकेले कर रहा हूँ। बट हमें इसलिए इतना टाइम लगता है क्योंकि वी डोंट जस्ट गिव द फूड, हम बस खाना रख के चले नहीं जाते हैं। हम एक क्लॉक पे नहीं है कि वो हमारे पास 100 कुत्ते हैं तो हमें जल्दी जल्दी हमें सबको कवर करना है, वरना शायद वो लोग गर्मी के टाइम पे शायद चले जाए, तो उससे पहले हमें जल्दी जल्दी भागना है, सबको खिलाना है। वो टेंशन हमें नहीं है क्योंकि हमें पता है कि हमारे बच्चे हमारे लिए इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं, और खाना खिलाने के बाद हम आराम से उनके साथ एंगेज भी करते हैं। वी चेक देम, मतलब हम देखते हैं अगर कुछ इंजरीज है, अगर कहीं पे भी कट्स हो तो हम लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल वील डिसइंफेक्ट इट। अगर अगर कुछ और भी हो, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कुछ सिकनेस का अर्ली स्टेजेस भी हमें हमें दिख जाता है, वो सिम्टम्स दिख जाता है, वी आर एबल टू लाइक वेरी क्विकली एड्रेस देम। एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट हमें बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है इन बीइंग एबल टू एंगेज विद देम। एंड बाय दैट आई मीन दैट जैसे हम खिलाने के बाद वी ट्राई एंड ट्रेन देम, we try and teach them new tricks, we mentally make them work for their food so they have fun, we have fun, they know that we are not just there to feed them, but we're actually there to have a bond with them, like build a bond with them. So वो हमारे लिए बहुत important है, and that's what I mean when I say quality over quantity. And ये हमेशा होगा। अगर कल आप 100 कुत्तों को खिलाने लग जाओगे तो आप सोचोगे कि यार 101, 110, 120, अगर 100 कर रहा हो तो मैं 120 क्यों नहीं कर सकता हूँ? एंड देन यू बिकम वेरी कंस्ट्रिक्टेड क्योंकि हमारे पास 5 घर पे भी है। दैट मीन्स दैट वी आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर 5 डॉग्स। उनका एक्सरसाइज, उनका डेली रूटीन, उनका खाना पीना घर पे रख रहे हैं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम बस घर पे छोड़ के हम बाहरी बच्चों को मतलब हेल्प करते रहे। हमें उन पे भी ध्यान रखना है और हमें अपने बच्चों पे भी ध्यान देना जो बाहर भी है। When we give them time, they're able to able to really build meaningful bonds with them, and वो हमेशा important रहेगा। तो अगर आप स्टूडेंट है अभी, which is really good, and कामना ने previous life भी बोला था कि हमने तो ये शुरू भी नहीं किया था जब हम स्टूडेंट थे, so hats off to you, we we really applaud you for this effort। but अगर एक भी हो, उस एक को पूरा ध्यान, मतलब उस एक का पूरा ध्यान रखिए, वैक्सीनेशंस कराइए, उनका स्टरलाइजेशन कराइए, अगर मेडिकल केयर हो तो मतलब आप पूरा अटेंशन उनको दे पाते हो, तो ये करने से you get one very healthy, very happy soul, and you'll always stay fulfilled. And अगर कभी इमरजेंसी हो, कभी फायर फाइट करना हो, तो आपके पास उतना टाइम होगा, क्योंकि आप बस उतने मतलब एक लिमिटेड सबसेट की देखभाल कर रहे हो, तो आपके पास हमेशा टाइम होगा, थोड़ा सा बफर होगा. तो डोंट ओवरबर्डन योरसेल्फ, keep doing what you're doing, grow up, get into a job, start earning, और उस हिसाब से you can keep expanding.
Yes.
Right? So that was question 1. So thank you for those of you who have already listened to the answer. Thank you for being patient enough for us to like go through this again. And I know I might have missed a few points क्योंकि मैं जल्दी जल्दी में बोल रहा हूँ ताकि हम we can catch up to the schedule.
Okay, ठीक है. So we'll quickly move on to the next question. Just wanted to ask how you guys manage to go outside for some time. मतलब सारे बच्चे घर में एकदम शांत रहते हैं क्या without you guys? By the way, love you guys and love you furry babies. We love you too. Thank you so much. You've been very supportive. I said it on the last live as well. In fact, when I post, I actually look for your likes on the stories, on the reels, on the post, because you've been amazing. Your support is something we really appreciate. I mean, thank you so much, and thank you for this question. For people who do not know, we have 5 dogs at home, 5 rescued and adopted dogs, ranging between the age of 3 and 14 years. And 3 of them were abandoned by their former families. So, so obviously they have had not really good past. So, and then we keep hearing about, separation anxiety. People face this a lot, that oh, post covid I've started going back to work, my dog is not able to stay alone, there's separation anxiety. So it's a very valid question, a lot of pet parents go through it. So, and now we have 5. So I would say for us it's a good thing because they have each other's company as well, but it doesn't mean that if you have multiple dogs all of them are going to be comfortable, just because they have each other's company. They do look for their humans. And in our case, Clara had severe separation anxiety. She's a sweetheart now, but she was really a pain in the beginning.
Very destructive.
Yes, very destructive. She has destroyed our furnitures, our wall sockets. I mean, there's a long list. So, what we have done and what any pet parent should do is that, irrespective of your job, you have to give time to your kids. Just bringing them home, giving them food, it is not just that. Dogs are high energy animals, so you have to ensure that certain breeds need more time, more attention. So make sure that you develop a routine. अगर आपको 10 बजे ऑफिस के लिए निकलना है, wake up early, time your routine in a way that you take your dogs out for walk, and they shouldn't be 5 minutes quick walk कि गए बाहर, your dog relieves himself and you come back. No, you have to engage with your dog. I mean, the walks are so important. They sniff. Cross is 14-year-old with arthritis, but you should see how much he enjoys his walk. He sniffs a lot. He is really happy. So walks are very important. It's not only physically tiring for them, it's mentally tiring as well, because they go out, they're very alert. So it is a good exercise for them. So walks is something that you should not miss. I mean, we share our responsibilities. So Nishan manages morning and I manage evening. For our kids, I've been on bed rest for more than 3 weeks now. So it doesn't mean that they'll be missing out their evening out time. Nishant is doing it all alone, because the kids shouldn't suffer if something. So you have to figure it out. So make sure your dogs are very well engaged, and they've got their time. So you set a routine, and dogs adapt very well to routines. So when they know, okay, मैं सुबह उठूंगा, I'll go out for my walks, I'll play with my parents, I'll have my food, I'll play for some time in my at home, and then I'll go out. Oh, sorry, my parents will go out and I'll sleep. So dogs will sleep happily. It's all about some may take more time and some may take lesser, but it's all about training them and helping them adapt to their routine. So keep some toys at home so that they're engaged, and maybe contact a behaviorist if you still if there is a problem. but there's always a solution. So our dogs, I mean, now since we're working full time on YouTube and Instagram, but earlier we had regular corporate jobs, and we had very very demanding high functional corporate jobs, and we used to be out for almost 10 hours every day, Monday to Friday. But we didn't have any issues except for Clara when she came in the beginning. But after she was settled, it's an absolute breeze. We have cameras installed in the house. We would see our kids in, while working as well, and they would mostly sleep through the day. I mean, sometimes you would see Clara playing with the toys, playing with her, but mostly they sleep. So if they've got what they need, it's our duty, it's our responsibility as parents. We perform our duty. It's going to be it's can be very breezy. So yes, I mean, I think it's a joint effort from us and our kids, and it's actually not a problem for us at all to go out and leave our kids. I mean, we even now, I mean, when we have to shoot, uh, our kids are very comfortable. If we have to leave them at home or we have to go out for work, anything, I mean, it's very very simple.
Actually, I would like to just clarify one thing. When Kamna says that, they mostly sleep, and that, we have been out for 10 hours at a stretch and they've been fine. There are a couple of things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
One is that it didn't happen immediately. It's not like we brought the dog home and then we were out for 10 hours. Okay, so there's a process to it. Like, for example, when we got Mishka for the first time, we used to come back. We used to come back every 2 hours. We made sure to get a house, or rather we used to live on rent at that time, and we found a place that was very close to work. So we were able to come back every 2 hours. Sometimes it would be just me coming back, sometimes Kamna would come back, and we made sure that we she got 2 visits between the morning and the evening. So it's like packaged in. Like, I would come for lunch, maybe Kamna would come in the evening, and then go back. We would finish our work. And we slowly weaned away from it. That was when Mishka was alone. So it was all the more important to help her understand that there's going to be some separation, there's going to be some distance, right? Getting a dog home doesn't mean that you stop your life,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to feel any kind of pressure to, like, from professionally or even personally. If you want to go out, enjoy a good time with your friends,
Yeah.
maybe a party or two, it's
Don't
perfectly
feel
fine.
don't feel guilty.
Yeah, you don't have to feel guilty.
Yeah.
Right? You can compare this to maybe the life of a stray, like a community dog. If you've noticed, they spend like a compressed amount of time in the morning with for activity. Like, they are grooming themselves, they go explore, it's an enrichment process where they're sniffing different things, they are scavenging for food, and then if you'll notice, they sleep throughout the day and then they get active towards the evening again. Dogs are like that. They have bursts of energy, and then they mostly kind of recuperate that energy for a majority of the day. Our goal with a dog should be to make sure that their recuperation process, their sleeping process, should match our working lives. Right? So that's how we did it. We engaged with them very actively in the morning. Walks, yes, walks are not really an exercise. So what happens is we walk them and then we come back and we exercise them as well. We play with them, we play a good robust game of fetch. Now that we have 5 dogs, it's become easier for me, actually, because I just need to excite them and then they start wrestling, they start engaging with each other. So the amount of effort I have to put is a lot less now, because they're just kind of working among themselves, getting themselves tired, and we move ahead from there, and then we come back and we repeat the process. We don't just come back and we are like, there are days where we feel extremely exhausted, we are tired because we've had a long day of work. We've come back, all we want to do is, like, eat our dinner and fall asleep. But they are expecting a lot of energy from us, because now they are active, they've slept through the day, now they're very high energy. You need to engage with them again, give them that exercise, keep them fit, and they'll be happy. So that's the goal that we need to go with. And you know that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I wanted to add. So it's a process, it takes time, but please don't give up. Keep at it, and if you need help, don't feel ashamed to reach out to a behaviorist or a trainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important.
Yeah.
So, the next question, Our community dogs have been missing for more than 2 months now. What can we do? We have been looking for them. So first of all, we are very sorry that your kids are missing. And you know, it's scary because 2 months is a very long time. And we are going to discuss some suggestion. Like we are going to discuss some options, and sorry, we are going to discuss some of the options or some of the suggestions that we have. You might have tried this already, considering it's been a long time. But just for the wider audience, we really hope nobody is ever in this situation. But God forbid, if ever you are, I mean, these options might help you. So first of all, I mean, always have photos and videos of your community animals in your phone handy. Name them and keep recording them, so it helps a lot. I mean, honestly, obviously they are very good memories as well. And just in case, in these kind of emergency situations where you have to look for your dogs, they are very helpful. So always have some photos and videos of your dogs in your phone. And the other thing is, we can't be with our community dogs all the time. We can't be there 24/7. But there are a lot of people who are out on the outside, who spend more time with them than we do, like your security guards. There could be some dhobis around, some shops, sweepers, anyone. So these people start interacting with them. So our numbers are actually, phone numbers are circulated with all the security guards. Not only our society, I mean, all the adjacent societies also have our phone numbers. The dhobis, they have our numbers. In fact, Mangu's accident was informed to. We were informed about that by one of the dhobis who are in a society nearby. So they had called us that Mangu is bleeding. So this is how it helps. And when you interact with them, they also start knowing the dogs, sympathizing and empathizing with them, and they would help you. So make sure that they are aware that you care for them, and you'll help them. All they have to do is just give you a missed call or maybe a call. And the other thing is, if sometimes what happens is, if a dog is sick, they would go into hiding. So just ask around if someone noticed anything. If they've noticed anything abnormal, or maybe they noticed something, they heard something, there was an accident or anything, just ask around. And in this situation, the photos and videos would come handy. And the other thing is, so I'll just give an example here. What had happened once was, Chutki was taken by
Yeah.
one of the NGOs in our city. And this one of the people outside, like someone who works outside, he noticed, and that one of the dogs was taken away. And all he gave us was the color of the vehicle, color and type
Yeah.
of the vehicle, because that guy could not really process the rest of the information. All we got was, आपका एक कुत्ता ना यहाँ से ले गए, इस रंग की गाड़ी थी और ऐसी गाड़ी थी. With that just one information, we were able to track down the NGO. We started calling all their centers, and we drove from one center to another. And after 4 hours of fear and panic, we found Chutki. We, at the moment, like, we saw her, it was such a relief. And then, so what had happened was, they had taken her for sterilization. And Chutki had just a few months ago, she had her litter. And we were already in touch with our vet, and he had asked us to wait for 1 or 2 months. So it's not so it was not really time for her to get sterilized. So we explained this to the NGO. We were ready. Our vet had agreed to speak to them if they resisted. But they were nice, they understood that, okay. And we gave them the details if they needed. And they gave Chutki back to us. But just imagine, just one simple information, and someone actually, because they knew that we care for the dog, so they informed, right? So it's it's very important and helpful. So these are like the preventive or proactive steps that you can take. Now, if your dog has gone missing, one thing is, obviously you ask around as much as you can. The second thing is, if it's been a significant time, check for the CCTV recordings around your area. I mean, if there are any societies, any cameras that you have, ask around. You can even seek help from the police, and tell them that, if this dog is missing. Because if the dog has been taken away, what I understand from your message, I think multiple dogs are missing. So now, if multiple dogs are missing, could be any reason, right? Multiple dogs can't fall sick at the same time. So we're thinking that maybe they have been taken by someone. If that's the case, relocation of the of dogs, because first 2 months sterilization also doesn't take 2 months. So even if they were taken for sterilization, they should have been back in 4 to 5 days. So where are the dogs now? So in this case, you should have ideally called the cops. But even now, if you can try, if you have any kind of information, try contacting police, because relocation of dogs is illegal. And check if you can get hold of some of the CCTV footage around in that area, and see if you can find your dogs. And you know and please use social media. If you have their photos, circulate it, give the location, give as much information as you can. If anyone has seen those dogs, they'll be able to help you. So someone who's going through this, we are very sorry. We hope you find your dog soon. And just try one of try these steps, and we really hope nobody has to go through it. But just be proactive, and just be prepared for emergency situations, and make these connects. Be as alert as possible. One suggestion is, if you're comfortable, you can put collars and name tags with your phone numbers on the community dogs. In our experience, personal experience, people steal their collars as well, but we have seen people managing it as well. So we're just sharing this suggestion. If that works for you, that would be great. So if someone finds the dog, and they can find the phone number, they can contact you as well. I hope this helps. I'll just quickly check. You want to add anything to this?
No. Whatever Kamna said, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll move to the next question.
Wait, hold on. So if you want to meet the culprit
Oh yes.
behind why our last stream ended so abruptly,
Show
it's
your
her.
face. Go. This.
Okay.
What is this? What did you do last time?
So what she did was very, very gently she yawned, she stretched, and then disconnected everything, and then went about her merry way, unaware of the fact that she stopped the live stream.
Yeah.
So that's why we had to redo the stream. It's her. This adorable ball of fur. And Life of Strays, thank you for telling us that you love our work. It brings us a lot of joy and encouragement, knowing that there are people out there who's actually appreciating our work.
Thank you. And I would add to that, you do leave a lot of comments on our YouTube content. You can't even imagine how much each comment means to us. I mean, it just gives us a lot of joy, even simple comments. So thank you so much. You do comment regularly on our YouTube videos. Thank you so much. We love you too.
Yeah, that's true. We can't stay mad at her either. So that was Vishesh saying that you can't stay mad at her.
That's why she's the spoiled one.
Yeah, she's super spoiled.
Now she's sleeping on Nishant's lap, like no other requirement.
Yeah.
You can't see her anyway. So the next question is 1 second. So there were a couple of similar questions, so we have combined them. And the question was, should vaccines be available at subsidized rates? And especially anti-rabies and 9-in-1 or 6-in-1. So for free or at least subsidized rates. So we are not sure how many of you are aware, but actually vets and hospitals are provided free stock of anti-rabies vaccine for community dogs, not for pets, but for community dogs. And ideally they should have stock. Yes, it is limited stock. It's not like you can take thousands of community dogs and the vet would have to comply to it. But they are supposed to have free stocks. So what we would recommend here is a vet that you trust. Contact your nearby vet and stay connected with them. Tell them, sir, doctor, that whenever you get the vaccine, I have these many kids, I would like them to be vaccinated for rabies. So for rabies there is a solution. And
do remember though that this stock is limited.
Yes,
it's not abundant, so don't overburden
the vet as well.
Don't overburden the vet, and build a relationship so he's able to actually preserve those vaccines for your strays. That's very important.
Yeah.
Also, but make sure that you have multiple sources in case the supplies run out. If you have multiple connections with different vets, they might be able to help you in time of need.
Yeah. And for 9-in-1 or 6-in-1, I
Should
we've
I should I take this?
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry. So
just keep it short.
so you know, to kind of backtrack, okay, to kind of backtrack. In the previous live, Kamna had mentioned as to why I'm not allowed to speak much during this live, because apparently I talk a lot, which I don't think I do, but uh,
Can you guys please comment that Nishant, once he starts on live, he just doesn't stop. Please,
yeah,
guys,
I try
don't
to I
don't
try to be
encourage this behavior.
I try to be as informative as I can be for your benefit, but clearly she has a problem with that. So yeah, so
Okay.
I'll try and be brief but informative at the same time. So we have spoken to a vet about this as well, about why vaccines such as 9-in-1 or 6-in-1, which is usually for parvovirus or distemper, why are they not provided in a, like, why are they not free samples for that, the same way it is for anti-rabies vaccination? And he had a very interesting answer, and I think it's fairly valid. When you start controlling the cost of a vaccine, it becomes very hard to actually understand its efficacy, which is like, how effective would it be against the disease, and quality, right? So you lower the cost, you're basically taking away the incentive of the people making the vaccines to actually put in a lot of effort in creating those vaccines. And you see it in any kind of healthcare, right? The freer it becomes, the more problematic it might be. I'm not saying that it's going to be, but it could be. Now, we are not professionals, we are not veterinarian doctors, so we trust the vaccine in its entirety. So the last thing we want is for a poor stock of vaccines to like actually kind of dilute the cause. We are doing it because we want our kids to be safe, right? Now, an alternative could be, something that maybe we could explore in the future, is actually applying the same model that was applied to the COVID vaccinations, right? So if you went to a private hospital for those COVID vaccinations, regardless of which vaccination you took, they would be much higher than if you had gone to a government hospital, because they are providing those vaccines at MRP. Whereas in a government hospital, what the government did was they bought vaccines in bulk and they covered the difference. So, the vaccines were available to the public at half price, or maybe one third price. So that is an approach that we can take to make sure that the quality of the vaccine stay intact, which would mean at a national level, right? And the Delhi High Court has actually done this. They've actually kind of moved the Municipal Corporation of Delhi to like also include the 6-in-1 vaccine as a part of their vaccination campaign, not just restrict the vaccination program to rabies. So we have a healthy dog population, right? Because at the end of the day, we are walking our pets, right? We are engaging our pets with the strays as well. The healthier they are, the happier they will be, because sickness also increases irritability and a lot of other things. And at the same time, we all of us stay healthy, right? Our pets are like less impacted as well because of their health. So that's one approach we can take, and that is something that we should work towards. So it needs to be a national campaign, and hopefully it started with Delhi. Let's see what the verdict is going to be on that, and let's hope it spreads all across, like across many states.
Yeah, well done. Part B of this question is, so the part A was primarily about government providing vaccines at subsidized rates or even free. The part B in a way of this question was, can pharma companies do that? So again, I mean, Nishant has already covered it. So if you are, can they do it? Yes, but again, I mean, the quality could be a question, because they are running a business after all. So I mean, any business would, if there is something you're expecting a product at subsidized rates or free of cost. I mean, we don't want really we don't want subsidized quality vaccines. So this is why I think the shared responsibility between government, pharma companies and individuals, where the cost is shared by the entire ecosystem. I think it's a win-win for everyone in a way. Otherwise, the repercussions of it could be something that we wouldn't want, just because the vaccine is provided for free.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, or maybe they can figure out a model how they have for rabies. So we can always hope for it. But yeah, so this is our view on this. Can you quickly check if we have any questions on the chat as well That was your
Uh,
responsibility for the live and you are
yeah,
distracted.
but we did mention that we would answer them towards the end of the live.
ठीक है.
So
So
there
you
are
guys keep commenting, keep sending questions. Your feedback on Nishant's
someone did
capability of.
Totem Talkie said that neither of us talks less or more than the other. So it's equal.
Okay.
See, that's fair. That's a fair
Who's cholo cholo,
assessment.
let it be. I'll ask this later. Okay. Now, okay. So yeah, this question is for Nishant. Why is the government not keen on animal welfare? It's a very serious topic, guys. Don't think that we are insensitive. These are serious topics, but we just want to keep it a bit
Yeah, we want
lively
to keep it
and
light-hearted.
yeah,
It's the
we
first
don't
day of
want it to be a
Diwali.
tense environment.
Yeah, it's the first
There's
day of
already
Diwali.
a
It's
lot of
like
stress.
there's a lot of festivities, right? So
Yeah. So
we don't want to put a damper on that. We want you to switch off from this live and still stay happy.
yeah, I mean,
So
we are right in the middle of everything that's happening. So
yeah,
we do understand the people who have sent us these questions. We do understand where you're coming from. I mean, we are all in the same boat in a way, right? Yeah.
yeah. So the question
So
was.
why is the government not keen on animal welfare?
So that's actually a multi-pronged question, I would think, because I don't think the government isn't keen on animal welfare. I think maybe it's maybe it's in the middle or maybe slightly at the bottom of their priority list, right? So the government isn't going to animals for us. They mean the world to us, right? So we are very impacted by the things that might happen to animals. But the government obviously has to look at multiple factors. There are multiple social issues to look at, and they need to split their attention, so to speak. So there are efforts. The NCDC, the National Center for Disease Control in India, they are working on a plan because the WHO had actually, checked with us. By when do you think we can be rabies free, for example? And the NCDC very confidently believes that we should be able to be rabies free by 2030. So there are plans to actually it's 2022. That means in 8 years, the government is trying to make sure that the country is rabies free as a whole. And it's got nothing to do with any cruel methods. It's like mass vaccinations, mass sterilizations, an effective approach to very, very humanely address these issues, right? And each state obviously has its own government. And for example, take Goa showed that with a consistent, we mentioned this in the previous question as well, right? We need a consistent uh, and combined effort from every facet involved in the problem at hand. So the government needs to be 100% involved, the public needs to be 100% involved, and not just the animal lovers. Like everyone needs to be involved in making this happen. So Goa has had zero rabies cases since 2018. They started the program in 2012, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So in like 4 to 5 years, their last reported human case was in 2017. So in 4 to 5 years, they were actually able to completely mitigate human-related rabies cases. They were able to vaccinate over 100,000 plus a lakh plus dogs each year. They were able to very effectively run sterilization campaigns by training people, by training the volunteers to very effectively catch the dogs, because one of the biggest problems that the municipalities face is actually catching the dogs for sterilization, right? And they will depend on us, because tomorrow if someone comes to catch one of our dogs for sterilization, they don't know the behavior of the dog. They don't know how they might be agitated. Some of them might be very friendly, very loving, very trusting of humans. Others might be very suspicious of humans. So that's where we bridge the gap, right? So we go, we carry them, we help them, we push them into the van without need of those catchers or nets.
Yeah.
It's happened. We were able to move all of our dogs without the need for catchers or nets, by the way.
Like they went very easily in our arms and
Yeah.
we put them inside the van because we were doing it. They trust us.
Yeah, so it needs to be a combined effort. When if the government rolls out any such campaign, we need to be present 100%. That's what happened in Goa. They even introduced education programs for children under the age of 16 to make sure that children understand how to engage with dogs, because that's a problem right now. A child growing up, it's our responsibility to help them understand a lot of things, right? They look to adults to help understand a lot of things. So we need to teach them about, like, when to not approach a dog. If a dog is eating, if a dog is mating, if a dog is doing something, uh, if a dog is sleeping, for example, don't try and bother it. Don't try and, like, pull on its tail. Make sure that you understand all the behavioral cues. And this has resulted in an entire state being rabies free. And at the same time, there are a lot of cities that have also managed this, like Chennai, Jaipur. They've been rabies free for a very long time. So a combined effort, a focused effort, not a half-hearted effort from all facets, including the government, including us, including the people who don't care for animals. The whole point should be that you don't impede it. Like, if there's a feeder or caregiver, don't go and stop the feeder or caregiver, because tomorrow it's that feeder or caregiver who's going to help bring that dog to a van to get sterilized, to help them calm down during adverse situations. So that's very important to know. And I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. So, again, this question also has like a part B. As we said that we combined multiple questions because they were similar.
Yeah.
So the part B was that what what is government's responsibility, or should government be responsible for proper treatment of community animals? Like bearing their cost and all the facilities. Government only focuses on ABC, is only focusing on ABC and rabies. How can we treat community animals at subsidized rates?
Now, this is an interesting question. I do agree with you. Yes, there should be, like how
Sorry.
we have the option for. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Blaze is here.
So it's an interesting question, like how we have an option, right? So if we have the option to go to a private clinic or a private hospital, and we have the option to go to a government run hospital as well, the course of treatment might be the same, but obviously the price is going to vary depending on which option we choose, right? So I do think that there are a few government run clinics, especially in Delhi. We have seen a few ourselves, and the cost seems to be nominal. That's not a problem. What the government should do is actually, expand their reach, make sure that a lot of these hospitals are built. A lot of our followers and subscribers have DM'd us about this, about, like, and they're from small towns, suburban areas or rural areas, like close to a village type setup, for example. One of the biggest problems they face is that they don't have ready access to medical care. If they want to even have their dog sterilized, they need to travel to a city, right?
Even for basic vaccination.
Even for sometimes, even for basic vaccinations, yes. So imagine that being such a hassle, right? But if a clinic is readily available, and if there are doctors readily available to actually treat these animals, I think the problem should solve itself. So yes, you're right, the government should expand its efforts. uh, it would actually aid in the large scale problem as well, like ABC programs and anti-rabies vaccinations. They need to be readily available, right? If you expect people to adopt them as a community, they're called community dogs when the community actually starts caring for the dogs, right? But if the community cares for the dogs but they don't have access to care, then that becomes a problem. So yes, we can learn from Bhutan, we can learn from Mexico. That these are countries that have actually made sure that their dogs have ready access to medical care, and that's one thing that we can aspire to. Yes.
Okay. This is an interesting question. Uh, so I'll go to the actual question, which was the yeah. I want to know if pit bull fights are legal, or if not, what action I can take to stop this. Can I file a complaint? So, no, dog fights are not legal. Not only about pit bull, be it any breed, they are not legal. we are aware that in some states in India it's quite prevalent. People breed dogs from certain breeds, like they are specially bred for this. So they make them attack dogs, they make them hunting dogs, so they're also used a lot for wildlife poaching. And these dog fights are horrible. I mean, one of the dogs mostly ends up dying. That's how this works. I mean, so it's horrible. So no,
Yeah,
it's not legal.
the rules are more along the lines of a fight to the death. So
Yes.
that's it's very painful to watch. It's
Yeah.
very painful to know that these things are actually publicly announced. Like there are hoardings
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. People are active on social media,
Yeah,
Instagram posts they make.
like
And there's betting and all, obviously. I mean, it's a fight, so they make money through this. And they don't care for these dogs. They don't at all. So, and yes, as a responsible citizen, you do have the right and to report such incidents. Uh, if possible, in case you can have photos or videos as proof, as evidence, because without any evidence, it gets very difficult to have your case move forward. So you can contact AWBI, which is Animal Welfare Board of India. You can even contact PETA. Has actually recently they had released a detailed video on this as well, about dog fights. And you can even contact Abhinav Shrihan. I'll repeat the name. This person has been working against these dog fights and this wildlife poaching through dogs for years.
yeah,
He has posted more than 1,000 videos. He's been collecting evidence. He's been running after these government authorities, and he's been able to move people now in within the system, where you can even reach out to your state government. I mean, whoever is the highest authority, reach out to them, tell them that this is happening, right? Always use official email IDs. Try to find the official email ID. Send them emails. Send them official letters. Government officers are usually bound to respond to letters reaching their offices. So post them. Do this, and you can also contact Abhinav Shrihan. He's on Instagram as well. He has done this on the ground, so he'll be able to guide you as well. And you guess it's something horrendous, horrible, and it must stop. So yeah, I mean, thank you for asking this. It was a very interesting question. Thank you.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I know I'm backtracking, but something I remembered regarding the previous question about why if government should provide treatments at subsidized rates, an alternative, because what I said, the answer I gave was very aspirational. It's something that we need to look at for the future. But an immediate solution that all of you could look at is actually pooling resources. For example, there are a lot of RWAs that I know of. Some of my friends live there, where the RWA bears the expense of vaccinations, sterilizations, any kind of medical emergencies, and the cost becomes very subsidized when 10 people are sharing that responsibility. So if there are like-minded people where you live, right? If there are five or six such people, vaccinations become cheaper. Any kind of medical emergency becomes cheaper, less burdensome. You don't have to fight this fight alone. Take help. Ask for help. There are some people who can't really very actively get involved. We have
Yeah.
met such people, right? We have met people who have told us that I wish we could do something, but we can't. And these are the people who tend to at least provide financial assistance, right? We have helped them. We have told them that if you want to donate, because we don't take donations, but if you want to donate, you can go to some organizations. We know a few organizations which we trust, and we have told them that if you have some amount that you want to donate every month, you can
Yeah.
do it to them because they are doing good work. And likewise, if you can convince them, or if you can talk to them and help them understand that even if you can't physically be available when I'm feeding, or if you can't physically be available when I'm taking the dogs for sterilization or vaccinations, maybe if you can you can help out this way. And that's one way to reduce the burden
Yeah.
as a caregiver, reduce your burden as a caregiver, right? So that's the whole point. When I mentioned examples of Bhutan and Mexico, the concept was for a community to adopt a dog, which means that they would be stray dogs, but the community loves them as their own. So they are part of our community.
Okay, so I think we have taken all the serious questions. Yes, so we're done with all the serious question. There is one kind of light-hearted question,
Okay.
but we'll keep it for. Sorry.
Strange.
Okay, sorry, we have some delivery notification. So I was saying that before we cover that, we can quickly go through the chat, and if there are any questions that we can answer. Are there any questions for us, or is it all love
No,
in the
there
comments?
are some questions. Hold on. So there's a serious question. So I guess we can do that before we go to the light-hearted question.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll keep it for the end. This last question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from Nidhi Gupta. Can you share a few tips on what we can do for the strays and pets during Diwali? We have been advised by a behaviorist that petting them too much or trying to calm them too much when there's a lot of sound encourages dependency on us. So how can we work on this? So I'll take this question. So there are a lot of instances where you might be faced uh, with sudden experiences. Like a thunderstorm is also a situation which can cause some panic or distress to your dog. So for pets, I think it's more about a habit, right? So for example, why do most strays, right? Why are they not bothered by the sound of moving traffic, or why they're not bothered by the sound of a car honking? I know some of them react, but in
Most of them,
most of them most of them sleep through it.
yeah,
They're never bothered by it.
they're accustomed to it in a way.
Right? People walking by, the chatters, the white noise in the background, right?
Yeah.
These are things that your pets, for example, might become extremely alert to. That's more about exposure. So exposure results in, like, so when you become more accustomed to something, when you're constantly exposed to it, and when you realize that there's actually no real danger from it, you tend to calm down in and of itself. So what we have done with at least our pets is that anytime something like this happens, we try to distract them. We don't, like Nidhi had mentioned, we don't pet them or hug them or try to calm them down. What we do is we start engaging with them. We start, exciting them. Maybe, throw a ball. We play fetch with them, and then all of a sudden, rather than focusing on the sound, what they're doing is that they're playing with each other. They're running around the house. They're having fun, and they've completely forgotten about the sound. And we had to do this a few times, the first few Diwalis, and after that everyone has become calm. Like Blaze has hypervigilance. It's a condition, and even he is now accustomed to the sound of firecrackers. It took us two Diwalis, but we were actually able to help him grow out of it. Cross had an issue because he's an old dog, and he used to get easily startled with thunder, the sound of thunder, but even he is calm now. So the whole point is to and this is a principle that you can apply with anything. Like, for example, if a puppy is grabbing your hand and trying to nibble on it when they're teething, for example, rather than stopping that engagement, what you can do is basically, okay, do you want to do it? Wait, you keep doing it. I need to
What?
answer this.
No. How can I? Guys, sorry, just give us 2 seconds. There's someone at the door, and I just can't start abruptly, but maybe keep sending your questions. So this is actually a good example. I mean, you can see these guys are not too bothered. I'm not say we can't say that they're. It's like always like this, that there's someone at the door. Chotu is like this. She's a deaf kid, so usually they are calm. Yeah, so it's all about getting them comfortable in that environment, and somehow through cues, it distracting them and letting them know it's fine. Now everyone has followed Chotu. They just have to prove me wrong. Come here. Caillou. please. Come here. Was that fun, guys? You you had a nice live show of our kids. Mishka, come here. Say hello. Mishka. Mishka, come here. Come here. Come. Ah, good girl. Come here. Say hello. Oh, where were you all this while? Okay, we'll say hello now. Okay? Good girl.
Okay, sorry guys. Sorry about that abrupt pause. So it was good that the bell rang while I was explaining this, because as Kamna had mentioned, right, all of our kids started barking after Chotu
Chotu,
had
yes.
reacted, and she's an exception to the rule. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's deaf, so she reacts a lot to vibrations, and there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, so she is going to be hyperreactive because she can't hear a lot of things, so the stimulus is missing, the amount of exposure she can get is missing. So what ends up happening is that she becomes hyper alert, and that's helped us in a few cases, and that's caused us some issues in a few cases. But more or less she's also like far better than when she had first come. And obviously the pack, being the pack, they came to her aid in a way. But more or less the point is, yeah, so the point, to backtrack what I was trying to say, the best way to actually remove a problem behavior is to actually switch it out, rather than always giving them any kind of negative reinforcement. Like for example, if they're biting at you, if they're nibbling because they are teething, if they are chewing up furniture, rather than scolding them, what you can immediately do is switch it out with a toy, switch it out with a rubber toy, distract them, engage them. So what you're actually doing is positively reinforcing the fact that doing that is wrong, and uh, playing with a toy instead is a rewarding experience, right? Another alternative would be to just not react. Like when you're completely still, when you're completely silent, uh, there's no stimulus, so there's no reward in a way. And the dog starts expecting some kind of stimulus, so they start correcting their behavior to see when does the human that I'm associating myself with, when is he going to react, when is she going to react. And that's another way to correct behavior. So I know I digressed a bit, but that's a way to actually cope with the sound based issue. Like basically switch it out with something else. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, exactly, Totem Talkies said this live explanation.
Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions, guys? You have any other question? While if you have any questions, we'll wait like maybe a minute for it. But I just quickly want to mention the.
Hey, I want to mention something too. I'm sorry.
I started first.
No, I have to say this.
This is what he does always.
Okay, you can go ahead then.
Before the live started, he was like, I am not going to talk. I will not speak at all. There are only two questions that I'm going to address. Rest is all yours. And we had discussed the answers as well.
I'm not answering questions. I'm making comments. I'm engaging with the audience.
Yeah, of course. So you decided to not do it anyway. So in the previous live, which ended abruptly because of this girl here. So Shreya had mentioned in the comments that Mangu is very well trained and he's an absolute
not
sweet.
Shreya, that was Supriya.
Supriya, oh sorry, sorry. So yeah, I quickly saw the comment. So Mangu is very well trained. Whenever I take treats for him, he always shakes first and then asks for the treat. And thank you so much. Yes, Mangu is a sweetheart, and in fact, even Dangu is very well trained. And if you guys have seen our videos, these kids, they understand, and it just makes us so happy because these little efforts that we make on a daily basis, to see the results, and that coming from someone else, it is just amazing. Thank you, Supriya, for sharing it. And yes, I love Mangu's shake where he does this pura.
So the reason he does that is because he has a broken elbow, so it looks really adorable.
And his paws are like big, so paw pads are like very cushy, and they're like very big, so it looks very cute. He does this, he kind of dances. It's very cute. So thank you. If you don't have any questions, since we had decided to close this at 4, and because of all the confusion and Chotu doing her part, We are already at 4:40, so we can maybe move to the last question. Do we have a question, or is it just can what is it? The last one.
We are Totem Talkies has said that we are so glad to see the fact that all dog parents have so much to talk about their kids. That's true. I think regardless of whether you have a human kid or a dog, parents will always talk about their kids.
Yeah, we are obsessed with our kids. I don't think, I mean, I think a lot of friends do not really enjoy our company anymore because we are always like all about our dogs. So
You know how those new parents, they keep showing photos of their kids and telling them, my kid just started walking. Oh my god, that's so cool. So we feel that every day.
So I have a funny story to share here. So when I told my parents, I first told my mom about Nishant. So she asked for a picture to send to dad. Okay, and she said, "Send, give me a photo of Nishant." So I was like, "Okay," and I'm like scrolling through my phone. They're only dogs. And we had we even now, I mean, now because of YouTube and Instagram we do have some photos, but and my mom is looking at me like you don't have a photo of him, and so this is how obsessed we are with our kids, and we're proud of it.
Well, to be fair, she's just lazy when it comes to clicking my photographs because how when you go on a vacation, you can tell that I've been on a vacation because of the photos. So if you look at all our vacation photos, you will see her, the dogs, but never me because I'm the one clicking the photos, and any photo she clicks is of the dogs and never me.
And food.
So 2 years later, if someone says, "Hey, didn't you guys go there? Can we see some photos?" and I'll be like, "Where's Nishant? He's never there." It's like I've never been there.
Well,
It's
I can't.
mysteriously kind of vanishing. The evidence of all the places I've been to. Think of
Okay,
it what
okay,
you will.
enough. Is okay. So, okay, so we'll move on to the last question, and this is from someone we absolutely adore and love. I think it's okay if we mention her name. It's from Supriya. And guys, I mean, during the live, we want to say that Supriya is someone we look up to. Supriya is someone who started feeding during the pandemic time because she is, to keep it very simple, she's a beautiful human being. She just felt bad for the animals outside, and she's someone who used to be scared of dogs even when she started feeding, and even months after she had been feeding them, she was scared of dogs. She used to be scared of dogs, but she still wanted to do something for them. And another thing, she is she made sure to study a lot, research that what is good for, and she doesn't only feed dogs, she feeds the cats as well.
Yeah.
And she did her research that what is good for them. She would always give them this species specific food. I mean, she would get good quality dog food or give them paneer or eggs. So she made sure that she knew that milk is not good for them.
One of the things we admire the most about her is that she was never lazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people, even when they started pandemic feeding, and this is something that I've witnessed, they would give the dogs leftovers. Leftovers tend to be very bad for dogs because a lot of the masalas, a lot of the spices we use for our human food, which is fine for human consumption, very bad for dogs.
Yeah.
Chicken bones kind of get stuck in their throat sometimes. Cooked bones, especially shatter, can cause a lot of problems. But she was very diligent in the way she fed these. The first time I saw it, I was very impressed. I did not know her at the time. Then Kamna saw her, and we just had to know who she was, and it's been a great journey since then.
Place is like, what's happening? Why are you not talking about me?
So thank you, Supriya, for paving the way, showing us what a great human being can be.
Yes.
And to all of you, aspiring to be a caregiver or a feeder, uh, it's important to start when you start something, you do it right.
And she's continued to do it even though her working hours are hectic.
It's absurd. Her
She
working hours are
comes
absurd.
so late from her work and she still manages to feed them every day. I mean, it's we sometimes even discuss that we're lucky that we have someone like her around. So Supriya, we love you.
Yeah.
Publicly bata diya. Okay, so the question was, how do you guys manage to stay positive with so much of negativity around?
Is this Supriya or somebody
Yeah,
else?
Supriya.
Okay.
So यार actually choice नहीं है मतलब क्या करोगे नेगेटिव होके भी. So but to be honest, it's not like we are always happy. My family knows how easily I get upset, I get
See, the
angry.
negativity is for us,
Yeah.
right? We don't believe in spreading that negativity, right? We deal with it ourselves when the camera is turned off, right? When we are at home,
Yeah.
we talk to each other. Therapy for me is talking to the kids because they listen and sometimes they just get up and walk away and it feels insulting to the face.
Yes.
So it gives us it's a funny thing, right? These small things help us smile, but yeah, we are impacted by it, we won't lie. There's a lot of cruelty. It's a very tense situation right now. A lot of things. I don't know how many of you have heard the things we have heard, and we don't want to discuss it over here, but it's been very stressful, yes, but at the same time, it's important to know that there's nothing that we can do. Some things are just out of our control. So we just need to put on a smile, soldier ahead, make sure that we stay positive, because there's a concept I like to always remember. It's called regression of the means.
Nishan's favorite.
It's my favorite concept. It says that if you have a week which is absolutely horrendous, it's like terrible, it has to end, right? Because mathematically, it is not possible that you only face negativity. There will be an equally exciting positive phase as well, and there'll be an okay phase in between, which will be a majority of the time, where there's nothing exciting happening, there's nothing bad happening, but everything stays just the same, and you can focus on a lot of different things. So we are hoping that this bad eventually goes to the okay, and eventually goes to exciting and happy, and all lovey-dovey. But we hope that this. Oh wait, there is this interesting story. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much again, but I get these random trains of thoughts, and I always want to share them. I don't know how many of you have watched The Big Bang Theory, but there's a story Sheldon tells Howard where he says that they're both going through some kind of crisis, and Sheldon talks about some king who had whose wise men actually forged a ring for him, which said, "This too shall pass," and that's how we get through our days, because we know whatever's happening, this too shall pass.
So yeah. So and also, I mean, just to add to that, I know a lot of it. I'm like this. I always do this. I can't sit static and
The
be
reason I'm
like
doing
this.
this is because behind the scenes, Kamna keeps like tapping Nishan's top. So
I keep doing this. पीछे से you,
stop.
Nishan, signal,
Stop.
signal, stop. So anyway, a lot of what Nishan said might sound cliche, but it is how it is. It is that's the truth for us. Like that's how it works. And also, I mean, as Nishan said, I mean, if you have people around, speak to them, share. If you have, we are each other's punching bags. Like when I'm upset, I'm horrible. I mean, you can't even imagine how frequently I get upset, and it's very difficult. I spiral as well. मतलब एक चीज खराब हुई है तो मैं 10 चीजें और वो करूंगी. So I it's not like we are perfect, but we have to spread positivity. That's what we always say. We do get a lot of hate comments and nasty comments
Yeah,
on our posts.
we have reached a phase where a lot of people, we don't just get positive messages.
Yeah.
When we started apawfive, when we started posting on YouTube and Instagram, we usually got a lot of loving and encouraging messages. Now it feels like, because we have a slightly bigger audience, like bigger reach, we're starting to reach people who are also bothered by our content, and they're not bothered in a very meaningful or reasonable way. They're bothered at a very spiteful hate
Yeah.
in a very spiteful, hateful way. The kind of messages we have received in our DMs, I wouldn't wish upon, the worst of my enemies, by the way. and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of patience to actually go through them, feel okay and move on. Same with the comments. If you've actually seen, we've had some comments that are
Last night.
yeah, yeah.
It's still
Oh,
going
yeah,
on, by
yeah,
the
yeah.
way. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
I mean, guys, don't give him power. I mean, it's not worth it. We decided it. Thank you so much, whoever supported us on the comments and supported our kids. But some people, just switch it off. These people are not worth their times. They will just sit on their keypads and, type shit. Ignore them. It's okay. I mean, anyway, your life won't change through these comments, right? And that should how it should. That is how it should be.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to add is, honestly, this has really worked for us to sail through tough times, is how much we have tried to increase our knowledge, knowing the law of the country, knowing that whatever we do is not wrong, it's not illegal, feeding the kids outside is not illegal. And at the same time, we also made sure that how to be responsible. And just to share that, the place we are living in right now, it was not really a very dog friendly place, and people were not that uh, that kind, I would say. So, and but when they saw us over the years, how we interact, or by how we are with our kids at home and even the kids outside, we've seen very, very nice and encouraging positive changes around us. I mean, people who really don't care about animals, don't love animals, they have come and told us that what you do is really inspiring and we appreciate it. So
Yeah.
and they've and if someone has come and tried to some just spread some negativity, we've always thrown law at their faces. Law ये कहता है हम तो कुछ गलत नहीं कर रहे हैं. So we keep requesting people, there's so many people doing so much for animals, but please power yourself with knowledge as well, law as well. आप डर जाते हो, so this knowledge, don't underestimate it. And that has kept us very strong. um, we've had really tough times, but the
The
law was something
concept,
that kept us going, honestly, the knowledge that we
yeah,
have.
the concept is to be bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just to be bulletproof for your benefit. If you're taking care of animals, you're actually ensuring that they are bulletproof because you know the law, right? A lot of people are deterred when they know if something is. Are you okay?
Sorry, yeah, just had to move a bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
A lot of people, they don't pursue something if they know it's illegal, right? I know there are some people who don't care about the law as well, but there are a lot of people who will back away when you know that, oh, the person I'm talking to, yes, he or she is not doing anything wrong. That's, so let me just take a step back. Let me try and understand if there's a reasonable way to address some of my concerns. Because we what we have done here, what Kamna has mentioned, it's not that people have magically changed, right? We have led by example, and we would encourage all of you to lead by example as well. Be responsible. If you want to feed the dogs, feed at odd hours in which there's not a lot of movement or traffic. Feed. uh,
Clara, sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry,
Clara needs
Clara has a
some.
phase in which,
She just needs her hugs.
yeah,
Yes.
so she
And
needs
she's
her
a
hugs. Hi, Claire Bird. Oi. Okay. So she sits like this.
She sits like a chota bacha. I mean, on the lap, she would hug you, balance herself on the shoulders very comfortably. And to Claro, dad is not visible. How is this life going to continue? It's the last question, bacha. चलो हटो. थोड़ा सा shy हो जाओ. मम्मा के पास आना है? नहीं. ठीक है,
You
हो
can
गया.
be like this. ठीक है?
हाँ, sorry.
Yeah. So, sorry, what was I saying? Yeah. So the concept, the whole idea is to lead by example. Like, if you're feeding, don't feed during high traffic hours. Try to feed at a location that is not frequented by too many people, and always keep the area clean, right? I know it's a very noble thing that feeding animals. It's a very admirable thing. You'll always have our respect for it. But maybe put out a newspaper when you're putting out rice. If you're trying to feed them, if newspapers aren't readily available, use disposable bowls or even steel bowls that you can readily wash. Keep the area very clean, because one of the biggest things that have encouraged us is people who dislike animals in the society coming to us and telling us that we have huge problems with animals, but there's nothing wrong in what you do. We can't find any fault in it. You do it very professionally, and the word they use is professionally. You do it a good 100 meters away from the gate. There's not a lot of traffic. We feed very effectively. The kids are happy, the people are happy, the people will stop abusing the kids when they are happy, and we are progressively moving to a better place this
Yeah.
way. So important to always arm yourselves with knowledge, be responsible, and power through all your goals.
Yeah, but you have the legal right to feed the dogs in their own territory only. It doesn't mean, see, when we are saying odd hours, we don't expect you to go into shady spots at night and risk yourself. No. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't have to be a risky affair for you. Consider all the factors. These are just our suggestions. Maybe it is not feasible for you. We are just saying that, when we expect the other side to understand us and maybe appreciate us, give them, rather than looking for appreciation, maybe think how you can remove all the points they can complain about. Then the only option would be to appreciate you, and that's what happened with us. We are just speaking from our personal experience, right? So this has helped us stay positive a lot. Just imagine random people coming in. We are not saying everybody likes it and it's been magical, all thousands of people living here, they all love us. No, we know there is hatred as well, but so many people being vocal about the appreciation that they have for us, that's enough for us. मतलब थोड़ा सा दिन चल जाता है, बाकी we have our kids and it's all good. So ठीक है, I think we can close because also it's the first day of Diwali. The only thing I wanted to add was that, guys, Monday is 24th October, right?
Yes.
Monday, the day we have Badi Diwali, the main Diwali. In the morning we have Kukur Tihar, which is Kukur Puja, which is dogs ka festival, which is, when you worship, when you thank dogs for being the beautiful, beautiful creatures that they are. It's very simple. You can put a tika on them, put some mala, and give them whatever they love. It doesn't have to be very elaborate. You can give them something as simple as dahi, or maybe go an extra mile and try to get some nice treats. It's absolutely up to you. I mean, if you're not comfortable with tika or mala, that's also fine. It's all about just letting them know, give them just extra love and letting them know that how thankful and how grateful we are that to have them in our lives. We will be celebrating it with our kids, all kids, kids at home, kids outside, and we'll be posting photos and videos. You do too. I mean, use social media, upload photos and videos of Kukur Tihar, and tag us. We'll also know how much we are. I mean, this is not a festival from India; it's from Nepal actually, and my family's origin is from Nepal, so that's how it got into our family. So please
Even Mexico adopted the
yes,
festival, by the
Mexico in
way.
2017 or 2018, they were so inspired by it. They have started celebrating Kukur Tihar, and some, I think Malaysia also does it. So some countries in Asia are already doing it, including India. And it doesn't have to be restricted only to pets. Go celebrate with your community dog. I'm talking, no. You're not allowed to talk in the Don't talk back.
Clara, calm down.
Come here. Blaze is upset that Clara is barking and not letting Mama talk. But okay, we'll close it now. Guys, happy Diwali. Thank you so much. Please keep writing to us, keep leaving comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. I mean, if you've not liked something, please feel free to share. It will only help us learn and improve and connect with you more. And send us video suggestions in case you want us to make videos on certain topics. We are available on Instagram DMs. Just write to us. And in case we missed out any question, we are very sorry, but I think we did make sure to cover everything in club as much as we could. But if you still have further questions, we always try to reply to as many DMs as we can. And again, it's just the two of us. Whatever we have learned is through our personal experiences. Yes, we do try to read as much as we can, but all of this that we share, it comes very, it's personally from us. It's not some book knowledge that we try to share. So and
Yeah, we've applied most of
yes.
what we've learned, and if we have succeeded with the methods that we have used, we have only shared it in those situations. So someone might tell us that this is the best way to go, but if we applied it and if that didn't happen,
Yeah.
then we try to avoid sharing that.
Don't stop learning, don't stop
Yeah.
trying. Yeah. And please, I mean, if you like our work, share. We social media is a tricky world to be in. So share our work if you like it. Watch our series, The Pariah Dogs of India. It's very close to our hearts. It has made us closer to our, it has led us closer to our kids. So keep watching our content, keep sharing your love through comments, DMs, share our work, and हैप्पी दिवाली. थैंक यू, बाय बाय.
Happy Diwali.
छोटू इधर आओ एक बार. सॉरी बच्चा, बट थोड़ा सा बाय.
Hello.
टाटा.
Come here.
बाय बाय. ब्लेस.
Are you coming?
ऐसे यहाँ से.
It's
हाँ.
okay.
बाय.
There we go.
Bye. Happy Diwali. Don't
Ek
try
minute.
not to burst any firecrackers. It's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool, guys. And because you only saw the back of Clara's head, this is Clara.
Do something else with that money. Ta-ta. Bye.
And Blaze.
Blaze. Cross. Sorry. He's sleeping. He sleeps.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you for taking the time out.
Yeah, thank you so much for being patient through all that mess which was there. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What was that? Oops, still on.